The charity Save the Children is warning that 75,000 children in Nigeria could die because of the risk of famine due to fighting in the northeast. The group says another 400,000 children are likely to suffer from acute malnutrition in the coming year. Meanwhile, the UN has asked for $1 billion in order to fund next year's emergency humanitarian efforts. That's double the sum sought this year for Nigeria.
Many of them have left with nothing, so they have no way of supporting themselves, meaning that a huge unseen hunger crisis has developed. We're expecting 400,000 children to face severe acute malnutrition, which is life-threatening without treatment in the next year, unless the response is hugely scaled up.
Well, we have Fidelis Umba in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. Fidelis, just tell us the reasons behind this famine.
Well, since 3 years ago that Boko Haram stepped up attacks across northeast Nigeria, people have been denied access to their source of livelihood, which is farming. Most of the people in northeast Nigeria are farmers, and because of the attacks, they can't go to their farms. And then some of the areas where they can even access has been laid with IEDs, which means if they even attempt to get into their farms, they will be blown up. So because of that, the area has witnessed food shortages, not just the northeast, because the northeast forms like the bulk of the food basket of the nation. So even food across Nigeria, we've witnessed cases of food shortages across the country. So because of this, some families are not able to get food to be able to feed themselves, even though before now they don't even have the purchasing power to be able to get food. And because of frequent attacks by the insurgents, aid groups cannot even deliver food aid to these communities because they've been literally cut off from other people and other areas where they can be able to get any form of assistance to be able to feed properly.
And Fidelis, what about the government's response? What do Nigerians think of their response?
Well, I recently traveled to Maiduguri in the northeast. I also traveled to Yola, which are like the two biggest cities in the northeast area of Nigeria. And all the people I spoke to were actually not happy with the government response. They feel that the Nigerian government has done very little in terms of assistance to these people. They feel that the Nigerian government has actually not even mapped out a proper strategy to be able to combat the issue of food shortages. They feel that government has also not been able to address the issue of attacks on communities and raids. So they feel that government, apart from just giving out a few handouts, a few food to some communities, that they've not done very little in terms of trying to make sure that even those who are trapped and that can leave their area to be able to access food, and also make the areas safer for aid agencies to be able to penetrate communities that had been cut off by the Boko Haram in order to be able to distribute food and other supplies to them.
Fidelis Umba in Abuja, thank you very much for that update.